Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja. What did Drake say? Hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. You guys, normally I wouldn't come on here with my hair tied up, but we are a family. We are live for a million now. And if you're new here, welcome to the family, okay? Like and subscribe, leave your comments. If you're not new, you're already a part of the family. This is what we do. We show up as we are, and we do not judge one another. So do not judge me in these comments, you guys. Okay, I do appreciate that. Now, my Timberwolves are struggling this season, you guys. I mean, I know it's the beginning of the season and there's still many, many more games to go, but it's kind of getting to the point of the year where you start to kind of see what teams' identities are, and you kind of get to see, okay, who's moving along, who's struggling. And the surprise for me is that the Rockets, well, I shouldn't be surprised because Ime Udoka is one hell of a coach. If you ask me, I feel like Joe Mazzulla inherited what Ime did. If Ime was there, if you ask me, they would still have won that championship. It's not just all Joe. I'm not going to say he's not a good coach, but I feel like he came in and took over what Ime had already put together. So it wasn't like he started from scratch. Nevertheless, that's another conversation for another day. Minnesota Timberwolves, you guys. I am an Ant-Man fan. I love me some Anthony Edwards. I think he is so charismatic. He's funny. He's entertaining. I love his competitive spirit. He's funny. He's very authentic and raw, sometimes a little bit too honest and too raw. I'm like, Ant-Man, why did you say that? But nonetheless, he's such a young rising superstar. And I know this is like his floor right now, and I'm excited to see like where his actual like ceiling is. I know we have yet to see it yet. Now, with that being said, the Timberwolves are currently sitting at 11th in the West. The West is so stacked, you guys. That is a hard conference. But they're sitting at number 11. They are currently 9 and 10. They're going to play Lakers in a few hours, so we'll see how that shakes out. But Ant-Man was talking to reporters the other day, and this is what he thinks is the issue with the team and why they are currently not winning.
We looked like front runners for sure tonight. Like we was down, nobody wanted to say nothing. Then we got up, then everybody like cheering and hype, and then we get down again and don't nobody say nothing. That's the definition of a front runner. And like we as a team, including myself, we all was front runners tonight, and it was for sure.
Defensively, how do you make adjustments as far as giving up interior points, perimeter? How do you see that getting changed overall? Give up a lot of interior points. Defensively, how do y'all bring it together?
We've been trying to figure this out for the whole year, man. We thought this was defense was our identity, and it's not. It's not looking like it at all. We don't know what our identity right now. Me and Mike was talking about. I think is we soft as hell, like our team internally. Like you know what I mean. Like not to the other team, but like internally, like we soft. Like we can't talk to each other. Yeah, it's a bunch of little kids. It's just like we playing with a bunch of little kids. Like everybody, like the whole team. We just can't talk to each other. And we gotta figure it out, man, because we can't go down this road.
Is that a communication thing? Is it lack of communication? Like what do you feel like can be that change for you guys defensively to get that identity back?
I think doing what the tell us to do, like that's what I mean. Like we just the coach tells us one thing, we go out there and do a whole other thing. Like that's not our game plan. The shit just doing on defense, like that's not what the coach is telling us to do. We supposed to be doing a totally different thing. And we go out there and like try to manipulate in our mind that we smarter than the coaches and just I don't know, man. Crazy right now. I don't really know.
So when it gets like that, as one of the leaders of the team, your choices are like to call it out or to basically try to figure out a way to cajole people out of it? Yeah, a lot of.
I mean, it's tough, as the person who's supposed to, help try to figure things out. Sometimes it's tough because, like, looking at everybody and everybody got a different agenda. So it's like, what?
You know, you gotta love Anthony Edwards. Oh man, you know what this tells me. Listening to what he's saying is going on. What this tells me is that Cat meant more to this organization than just being the offensive big man, the best big shooting three, if you want to call it that, it tells me that they let go of the heart and soul of their team because there's no reason why they should not be at the very least listening to their coaches. Like, where is the leadership at? It also tells me that he had a leadership presence in that locker room and he kind of brought things together. That's what I personally gathered from this. And I feel like owners sometimes, I don't know what ownership was thinking anyway with this trade. There was no reason to give up on what they currently had. Look how far you got. Why would you not bring everyone back and then try to see what if you can, run it back and get even further this season? Like, why would you almost got to the freaking NBA finals. Like, why would you do what you did? And then to keep Rudy, don't even get me started, okay? Okay, do not get me started, you guys. Okay, I'm going to keep it nice and respectful on here because these are still NBA players and they all still are talented to a certain degree. Nevertheless, so Rudy does offer, he is an asset, right? We'll keep it cute. But I think ownership sometimes they automatically they want to win so bad they just start moving pieces around and trading people, but you have to also factor in what these people mean to your locker room. Cat has been in Minnesota for years. Like, he's not someone that was just passing through. He's not someone who sat at the end of the bench and only came in 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. Like, he was a strong, crucial part of your team, and you just got rid of him out of nowhere. He caught him completely off guard, by the way. I mean, they were practicing, getting ready to run him back this season, and then he's traded. And even when he first got to the Knicks, Jordan, his girlfriend, posted him. He was still checking up on his team. Like, that's his family. Like, they've been rocking together for years. Like, they they built, I must say they built it together, but this core of what they had, like, they fought together, like, they were in the trenches together, and they finally got there. Season before last, Cat was hurt, and then Nas Reed was hurt, and then I think Jaden broke his hand or broke his wrist. It was a complete mess, So now you have your team back, and then they get almost to the NBA Finals, and then you just uproot the whole thing. Now, I like DiVincenzo. I don't have any issues with Julius Randle, but I would not have given up on what I currently had as an owner. I hate when owners just automatically look at the stats, so to speak, and just get so, okay, win. It's not just about putting up numbers because individually, DiVincenzo can score. He can play defense. He can get steals. Julius Randle, individually, he can score. He can play defense. He can get rebounds. Ant-Man is Ant-Man, Um, but does it work as collective? And I don't know who's in the meeting room when they have these conversations and or who's in charge, if they talk to the coach, if they talk to Ant or what, I don't know. But I feel like sometimes owners need to sit back, take a breath, and really think about the bigger picture. Of course you want to win. No one is paying people millions upon millions of dollars to come up with losses and empty hands. So I get that. But when it comes to a crucial member of your team, you have to think about what you're giving up and what you're getting in return, and if that's going to help bring the core that you currently have further more together or further apart. Why is the team not listening to the coaching staff? And this is really a bad look for. I love Ant-Man. I love how authentic and how honest he is, and I appreciate the transparency. But for him to tell the media that the team is not listening to the coaches, I'm like, is that's not good. It sounds like, as he calls him, Finchy, does not have a hold of the locker room. It doesn't sound like he's able to lead these men. They're doing what they want to do. Again, according to Ant-Man, they're changing the plays. The coach says this, you're doing that. The coach says, go down here, you're going over there. That's not a good look. And I think that part he should have kind of kept to himself. Again, I do appreciate the honesty, but certain things that the media does not need to know. If you have someone like a Patrick Beverly kind of type, a Draymond Green, you put certain things out there. You had those teammates, other opponents, excuse me, who know how to. You give them ammunition to kind of poke holes, in your team and kind of, it'll work against you. in the game, because we all know that the game of life is more mental than anything. When it comes to sports, it's more mental than it is talent, physicality. When people get into your psyche and things like that, they throw you off your game where they can. Now, I'm not expecting Ant-Man to be thrown off his game. I'm saying that for the rest of the team. Where is the leadership? They have veterans on this roster. Mike Conley is not new to this thing. He's not 19, fresh out of college. What's going on? Who's leading the team? I know Ant-Man is trying his best to lead, but it's obvious that it's not working. I think that he needs more time to mature. He is still young himself, a rising superstar. So as much as we, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? I know that, he's the face of this league and we see him on all the commercials and whatnot, but I feel like he's still trying to figure out his leadership role, or should I say not figure it out, but how to be the right kind of leader. And that takes time, that comes with maturity, and he's not there yet. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm just saying he's a young man. I think he just turned 22, 23. Like he he wants to be the face of the league. He wants to be he's the face of this organization, but leading the team of men who have their own minds, who want to do their own thing, that takes more time. That comes with with experience, with maturity. And I love that he's trying his best to do it, but I feel like ultimately it's going to take time for this team to gel. I hope that they do, because I would love to see them run it back and get even further, than they did last season. But ultimately, I'm blaming this on ownership. You should never have gotten rid of Cat, and you have to know that Cat meant more to the organization than just what the stats show on the sheet. What do you guys think, though, about this whole situation, about Timberwolves, about this trade? I said a long time ago it was a bad trade. But what do you think? Can the Timberwolves bounce back? And what do you expect to happen for them the rest of the season? Let me know in those comments, of course, and I'll see you in the next video.